It's Divas That Care Radio. Stories, strategies, and ideas to inspire positive change. Welcome to Divas That Care, a network of women committed to making our world a better place for everyone. This is a global movement for women, by women, engaged in a collaborative effort to create a better world for future generations. To find out more about the movement, visit divasthatcare.com after the show. Right now, though, stay tuned for another jolt of inspiration.
Hello to all. Welcome to Divas That Care Network. I am Joyce Benning, and I will be your host for this absolutely invigorating, robust lifestyle show. First of all, I'd like to thank each one of our listeners that have tuned in live today, and also the ones that will be listening to the podcast. I am just so very grateful for each one of you. And you are all in for a very special treat today because I am just overly excited to have with me my monthly returning diva, Kate Neligan. And we are going to chat about a live animal communication / healing session. And she's actually going to be doing the healing section on one of my horses. Oh, man, am I ever excited today. Kate, could you please introduce yourself to our listeners today?
So I am an equine-partnered life and business coach, animal communicator, speaker, and author. Really excited to be back again here with you, Joyce, and looking forward to today's topic, too.
Oh, thank you. That definitely makes two of us. I am so excited. This topic is going to be incredible. And as I told our listeners, you're doing a healing session on one of my horses. So I am just even more excited about that. And before we even start, we had chatted earlier, and you were saying, like in your healing session, you had actually helped with a colicking horse. Would you like to tell our listeners briefly about that experience before we start on mine?
Sure. It's very recent, and I love sharing these stories because I think it helps educate. So for those that don't know, colic is essentially a form of a gastric disturbance in a horse's gut, and there's the hindgut, and then they have huge intestines, as you can imagine. Humans do as well. Horses have so much more. And often gas can get stuck, there can be blockage, there can be different things that happen, and often people think it's related to stressors, weather changes, food changes, or, challenges with different things that they eat. Some horses are potentially more prone than others. And what happened is a client and friend's horse went into a little bit of a colic this weekend, and she had the vet come out and sedated him. And he was okay, he was better. But then the next morning, I literally got up 2 minutes after she texted me. I did not hear her text, and it was much earlier than I ever get up. And I just felt like I had to check my phone, and there Mahold was, "Can you help me? My horse is colicking again." And so I went in and I did a clearing, and we're going to do a little bit of that clearing today with one of your horses. And I did essentially about 13 minutes, and I could really tell her terror and her fear that her horse was going to have to go into the hospital, and that's a expensive vet bill. And it also, colic in many ways can be one of the worst things that can happen to a horse. It often can result in death and them passing. So she was just really upset. So I worked on her energy, and then I worked on his. And then it was so beautiful, but it ended up taking about a 90-minute session. It was quite a lot, but we were able to clear emotional things, past life, if you believe in that the two of them had together, a lot of layers. And I was able to work with her the whole time until the vet got there, and I was able to tell her where the gas was on the right side of the horse and all these different pieces. And no joke, he went from not being able to stand up, he was pawing and rolling and all of that, to finally being able to stand, relax. And when the vet got there, his temp was normal, everything was normal, and he just had a little bit of gas left. And so he was fully out of it. And it was pretty miraculous. But what happens is I tend to go into their bodies, bring it in through my body, and process it through usually coughing, yawning. You'll hear me do that potentially today. coughing, yawning, occasionally burping, and it's just energy moving through the body. So that's what happened. It was the fourth time I got called to pull a horse out of colic, where I was able to work on them before the vet got there, and by the time the vet got there, they were okay. They were fine, and all of them thought that they would have to go to the hospital, and they still end up giving the horse Banamine, which is like a big Advil for us, right? A little bit of a painkiller, but yeah, it definitely, and he's been okay since then, and I can tell when they're coming out of it, and it's just beautiful to watch. And I've just been in the right place at the right time now to pull these horses out, and I'm super grateful because, yeah, it's scary when that happens, and to be able to work with both. The human at that point can't really function. They're just focused on, they're really in their fear brain and the amygdala, and so to be able to just help in that capacity is really beautiful. So thanks for letting me share it. I'm really grateful to be able to understand the different layers of colic, that it's just more than just the physical. So
yes. Oh wow. Oh, what a rewarding feeling for you to know that you had helped the horse and the owner. Oh my goodness, that's an incredible story. I love it. That's great how you did that. Well, I will just let you take it and kind of do how you want to explain to our listeners today on what you're going to do in this live animal communication healing session, and just let you do what you do best, Kate.
Great. Well, so you mentioned to me, so we're working with JC, which is your gray gelding, and you sent me some photos of him already, and I felt inspired to say, hey, I feel like I'm supposed to do a reading for you. We've never done one before live on the show. But I wanted to do it. And then you mentioned actually he had just hurt his knee playing with the other horses. So the timing was really serendipitous. So is he still in a little bit of pain today?
He is a little. He's better. Okay. He's better. He's still a little sore on it, but not as bad as he was on Monday. So that's good.
Okay, good. So he's coming out of it. He might have just tweaked it. Well, I'm happy to check in with him and see if there's something he wants to share with you, with the listeners, and also do a little healing just to make sure that heals up really well. Any other desires or goals or things you'd love to have happen with him or for him?
He is just such a precious horse that any feedback he gives of how I can help to make it better for him, that's what I'm here for. I'm his caretaker, and he's my partner. He is just a beautiful, beautiful horse in all ways, inside and out.
Yeah, I can tell he's really special.
Yes, he is very special.
Yeah, he has the unicorn energy with him too, like that unicorn Pegasus energy. Very wise, deep, emotional, old soul. I'm just looking at his photos and just pulling that from his photos. I haven't gone in to fully chat with him yet. But yeah, I feel, and there's an interesting sweetness to him that feels at times like he's shy, and can be this like sweet introvert, but he's an extrovert with his people, like with the people he knows and loves and trusts.
Very much so.
He is super sweet. Is he in his 20s? Yeah.
Yes, he's actually 26.
Gosh, he seems to be doing pretty well. He's such a cutie. So you can hear my hat wanting to talk in the background, but I'm going to do my best to stay focused on him. So, yeah, let me go in now. It's interesting because I feel like part of his teaching is really around sweetness into people's lives, like that gentleness and the quietness going within, like almost like he feels like he would be a meditation teacher if he was a human. But there's an element of that. it's almost like when you connect with him and you look right at him, he makes you confront your inner realms, like your inner being, your inner world. So he's not this, like, it's not this outer focused energy that he has, which I've seen in some horses. It's this real, like, deeper, quiet inner space. Like, I'm almost seeing, like, the cosmos with the stars and just floating and being in that, like, the nothingness in which things are created, that very cosmic type energy. Do you feel that when you're with him?
Oh, yes, very, very much so. Everything you're saying is just him, completely. That describes him.
It's interesting because he feels very patient to me. I feel like he's had to learn that, though. Like, he wasn't always this patient, but he feels like he's really grown into himself. I can feel him in his elder years, like he's really reflected back on his life and he's had a lot of wisdom. How long have you had him? I feel like you haven't had him his whole life, right?
I got him when he was 4 years old.
So almost. That's amazing.
Almost.
Oh, so you've really seen him grow up. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
What have you noticed these changes in him that, like, as he's becoming older, he's really coming more into himself and who he is as a being, as a teacher?
Yes, as he has gotten older, and I mean, he's always been a very soft-hearted horse, and he's all heart. I mean, he will give. In his younger years, he just gave everything he had. I mean, he would never give up, and he is just. I always said his heart was bigger than he was, because he's not a huge horse, but he's always been all heart. And yeah, he's always been very, very kind. He's always been a very kind horse. Even when he was 4 years old, he was just real kind. But he has grown more into it. More of the wisdom probably has come as he has gotten older and things like that. Yes, I can totally see that.
I think it's more his self-assuredness, which to me is the, like, kind of like him not being in the people pleasing as much, where he's become like, he's been very patient and he's now more sure of who he is and his gifts like, he's not, how do I explain it? He's not trying to show the world what his gifts are anymore. He's just being his gifts. That's what it is. Does that make sense?
Oh, totally.
Okay.
He's just himself completely. It doesn't matter who's around or who he's with. He's just JC. And yeah, he doesn't have to prove himself to anybody. So yeah, that's very true.
It's so funny when you just said JC, I literally heard Jesus Christ. Is there a connection at all there that you are aware of?
Of JC?
JC and also Jesus Christ, that energy.
There easily could be, yes, because I feel very I feel very peaceful and calm when you're around him. He just brings a calmness and a comfort to you, almost. Is the kind of horse he is. You can be stressed and be around him, and it's kind of like it just all goes away. And that there would be that would come together with Jesus Christ and him, a calmness and peacefulness.
Well,
that's beautiful.
People felt comforted by that energy, right? That energy of the teacher and that unconditional loving Christ consciousness, right? Regardless of what religion you were in, that was a master teacher and a master healer. So yeah, I love it. Okay, well, let me pop into his energy for a second. I've just been looking at his photo and doing it on the surface. So let me see here. He has, it's funny, I smiled right away. He has a joyfulness energy, and there's a lot of I saw him like throwing his head up. I think he does still like to play. He doesn't want to, even though his wisdom is at the age of 26, I think he still has like that younger gelding boy energy sometimes, which is potentially how he hurt himself if he got a little, if he was roughhousing a little too much. And it's almost like his younger spirited self isn't a full total match for his older body. He's kind of like, oh shoot, like what happened to my younger body? I could do so much more. Yeah,
definitely.
I think it felt a little bit like either a bang or a tweak when you landed on it. Like he kind of like was where, you know, when they play bite each other's faces, they play bite, and then he kind of like tweaked it when he landed on it. Let me just check for a second. It feels like front right, but let me just make sure. It definitely feels like it's getting better. What are you doing for it? Are you doing something? It feels like what you're doing is working.
I've been doing just kind of some energy movements on his knee, figure 8.
Beautiful.
I've heard that doing figure 8 on an injury helps, and so I've done that on him some, and just given more TLC than normal.
I love that. Tracy taught me the figure 8 thing too when Phoenix got hurt. I love it. Yeah, well, that's working. It's lifting. He's saying it's lifting the energy. So whatever he's saying what it was like a harshness energy that got trapped in that area, but you're releasing it. I'm just going to go in and see if I can work on it a little bit more. He was kind of surprised. I don't think he knew that would happen. I think it's a little bit of a reminder for him that he does have to kind of go a little slower or just be more cognizant of his body and the terrain also, like that it, you know, he isn't the 10-year-old that he feels like he is inside sometimes. So he actually is asking for you to hand walk him, which I imagine you probably do, but it feels like it's something he's wanting for you to walk next to him and actually hand walk, lead, and halter, because he feels like it's going to be some movement will help, and also he feels like it's a time for the two of you guys to connect, just you and him. That's something he's wanting right now.
Okay, just to walk together. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Like just to walk next to each other. He almost feels like when you guys are doing that, he's going to be able to open up and talk to you a little bit more. And there's maybe something he wants to bring through and talk to you about during that time. Okay.
Oh, awesome. I love it.
Yeah.
We'll definitely do that today.
I feel like there's a little emotion around that too, but it just feels like he's wanting to impart something to you, like about kind of how he thinks about you. And it's interesting. It's almost like he kind of got hurt and was surprised, didn't think he would, but now he's like, okay, well, let me use this. And his way of using it is to say, like, he can, you know, because often when the animals do get hurt, like, it really, I mean, and when my friend's horse was colicking, like, we have to focus on them, right? We have to, it's like all of a sudden all our energy goes to them versus any other horse or animal that we have. And so, but there is something in that he's calling you forth to, so you may just, when you walk him today, just say like, what is it you want to share with me? And just practice listening to him. I know you already do that. And just see what comes forward, because you might be surprised there's some messages there for you. And I think he's wanting you to open up to that. So let me see what else here.
Oh, that's exciting. I can't wait to do it.
I know, right? Like, and you may want to voice it. I usually put it in my voice memo on my phone when messages come through from them, if that helps, so you can remember what they are.
Yes.
Or are you going to,
I keep a
journal?
Beautiful. Of all the messages I get from the animals, and I love that.
Yeah, this one sounds like there's some potency to what he's going to share. It feels like a very love-based message. It feels like a lot of compassion and a lot of heart. In many ways, you guys feel so similar to me. You feel like you've kind of grown up together and you've evolved together, and you have similar energies in your givingness and in your sweetness and in your kindness. There's a lot of mapping between the two, almost like you guys were like partners in a past life, right? Like that, just a lot of the soulmate type energy.
Right.
But there's a lot of wisdom teachings he's trying to bring through now. And I think this happens too with older horses. They want to share a lot before they, transition. And I'm not saying that's going to happen. He feels young inside to me. But I'll just say like their last 3 to 5 years or 10 years, even they start to step into that wisdom teaching space, I find, where they're really about, hey, here's what I've learned from my time on Earth. Because a 26-year-old is like a 70-something-year-old human, right? So,
right.
Yeah. So let's see. Let me see what else I can pull in here from him. I apologize for my cat. He is really decided he wants to go outside because it's finally almost 80 degrees here. So
that's okay. This is animal communication, so it's perfect.
This is the most he's talked since I've been on the phone. Let's see. So what he's saying right now is there's no tomorrow, there's only today, which I love. That is something a horse would say. That is very much that message of living in the present. And he's also saying no regrets. He doesn't have a regret for banging his knee. He just feels like he's using it now to learn from for himself, but also as a teaching opportunity. Let me see. He feels like he has something else to share with the listeners. He says, I'm going to share more with Joyce later, but I have something else for the listeners. So I love that whole there is no tomorrow, because someone like me who's a coach, it's we're always thinking about the future. I'm not much of a past person, but a lot of the therapists go into the past, but as a coach, I go into the future a bit. So I love how he said there's no tomorrow, there's only today. It's huge that if we lived with that, we would really have different lives, I think, is what he's saying. So he's saying there's a processing that happens when we hurt ourselves or we get sick, where we have to go within and learn. And he's saying that's what is happening right now. But he said that's also, he's kind of pointing back to the last 2 years and saying that's what happened to all of us collectively, that it was a forced time to go within and to learn. And he's saying, he said in some ways it was more gentle. If you got sick, it was harder. But it's almost like he's saying the lessons are, when you go within, it's about stillness and silence. It's about learning what's there for you that you need to be with, accept, and release or embrace. And yeah, he's a very accepting horse. There's really no a lot of horses don't have judgment, but he feels very much like he's okay with what has happened, that he got a little, this is actually was totally fine. And I think that's why it's healing quickly too. It's more about the layers behind it that, and I'm just going to do a quick clearing because I know we're running out of time. So I just want to make sure I give him the healing piece. So any and all ways in which there is any pain or remnant physical challenges on any and all levels, any ways in which there could be any just bone or fascia or muscle or tendon or nerve pain on any and all level. I just try all of that. Yeah, there we go. And I just shook. I haven't shook in a while. That was cool. You obviously can't see it. I had a full So I think whatever that harsher energy is kind of popped out and left, but I just keep getting his energy of acceptance. And I think that's something he's trying to bring forth, like acceptance around aging, acceptance around when we, like for me this week, I've just been really more tired than normal. And it's like I've had to sleep more, and it's acceptance that we don't need to push ourselves. Like if something happens that slows us down, whether we're exhausted or, we hurt our knee or whatever it might be, to form the acceptance and then to see what the teaching is. He's using everything for his growth and for others' growth. That's what I feel about him. And that's amazing. That's more mastery in an animal than, it shows a lot of wisdom and growth and maturity that he's using everything for his growth. And that's what he's trying to communicate today. Does that make sense?
Yes. Yes, that makes total sense. Yes, you just, everything you said, it's him. It is just so him. I loved every moment of it. This was beautiful. Absolutely beautiful.
Oh, yay. Well, let me know how he's doing, and maybe next month we'll check in and see if he has anything he wants to share when we start the call. And I just am so glad he could be here. I literally just got this nudge to say, hey, let's do a live reading on the call, because I just felt like someone in the herd needed to, and he's ready to really pass on more. So I encourage you, Joyce, like share what he's saying, share his teachings, like he's asking for that. And and you can really honor him and your relationship in that way as you share, So pass him on. He's a wisdom teacher.
Oh, that is just awesome. I will definitely share his teachings. Oh, that is just beautiful. Well, I thank you so much, Kate. And we have just about a minute or so left. You are doing some mini readings. Is it this weekend to support your mom's nonprofit?
Yeah, so I'm super excited. My mom and I have a new podcast called Metaphysical Mastery on the Divas That Care Network, and her nonprofit that she's involved with for decades is called the Metaphysical Center of New Jersey. And there's I think 12 psychics at a psychic fair this weekend. It's their fundraiser, and it's 30 minutes readings or hour readings. I'm doing animal communication, and healing, and then also horse wisdom readings. And people can go to the Metaphysical Center of New Jersey website, and you'll see it right on the homepage if you feel called to register. For me, they're at greatly discounted prices. I just wanted to be able to give back to them for their fundraiser. Awesome. So that's this Saturday, April 30th and Sunday, May 1st.
Oh, well, thank you so much for sharing that too, Kate. And thank you so much for what you've shared to me about JC. It's touched my heart, and I can't wait to get out there and be with him. So thank you so much again. It was beautiful.
You're so welcome. Thank you.
And
appreciate it.
You are so welcome. This was awesome. And I want to thank each one of our listeners for tuning in to this absolutely incredible podcast with Kate Neligan and all the wisdom she shared today about my horse, JC. Please share this show with all your family and friends. Check out all the other hosts and their shows on divasthatcare.com. Have a fantastic day, and remember JC's words, no tomorrow, only today. Give your animals a hug and share your love with them. Until we connect again on Robust Lifestyles, stay strong and healthy.
Thanks for listening. This show was brought to you by Divas That Care. Connect with us on Facebook, on Instagram, and of course on divasthatcare.com, where you can subscribe to our newsletter so you don't miss a thing.